Okay, so you have opted to give block printing a try. The things that you're going to need to do block printing, you are going to need a bench hook. This bench hook is going to operate as a secondary hand. So I'll show you in a few minutes what I mean by that. You are going to need a handle. Inside the handle are several gouges. So any of the sets that I set up to send home, you have gouges to work with, and I'm going to put these back in here. Actually, I'm going to save that one. Let me see if I can zoom in and you can see better. Excellent. So this gouge right here is either a U gouge or a V gouge. I believe it's called a U gouge just because it's got that rounded end. Those of you who've picked them up from me, some of you will have one that's a little bit more round, and some of you might have one that's more of a point there. This right here is called a square gouge because it looks like the bottom edge of a square. This is a wide U, the gouge. So if you can see that letter U, but it's a much larger line. So this right here is a blade. This is equivalent to an X-Acto knife blade. You are going to be gouging out, cutting into a material, removing the material in order to create the print. This right here creates a very wide line. This right here creates a wide line. This one right here creates a narrower line. It's a smaller line. I'm going to back out so that I'm going to put the extra gouges I'm not using in there. The way that I set my gouge up is inside of here. Hopefully that will focus in. That's not focusing. Let me see what I can do to get it to focus. Okay, that's a little bit better. I'm going to turn off that. Okay, that's better. If I unscrew this, you might have to unscrew yours occasionally. You have this piece right here. You have these two little pieces right here, and you have that piece right there. And the way these guys go together, it's almost shaped like a bullet. One end tapers off. This end right here is a little bit narrower. This piece right here fits in. It tapers off, but there's kind of a ball at the end of that side. This here has that open area. And what's going to happen, you have this curved area on your gouge. So you have your regular point, but then you have this curve. And that curve is going to slide down into it like that. So if you have to unscrew these for any reason, sometimes the gouges get stuck in here. So sometimes you have to take them apart. It's not a big deal if you do. You take kind of I hold those two ends together. I make sure that those kind of match up around there. And the grooved part here matches up because that grooved part actually kind of sits down in that little notch down there, like that. I drop the area that looks like a bullet down into there like that. And I screw that on. I don't screw it all the way on. I leave that a little bit open because I'm going to take my gouge and I'm going to slide it down inside there. So I'm going to hold it out a little bit. If you have an X-Acto knife, this works just like an X-Acto knife. If you use a drill press or something like that, if you use a sewing machine, all of those kind of operate kind of on a similar principle depending upon the brand. So this is the gouge, and it's set up with that. The gouge, if you think about it in terms of a spoon, you have the curved part of the spoon, and you have the part of the spoon that you're able to like eat your soup with. You want the part of the spoon that you eat your soup with, the bowl part of it, facing up. You're going to cut with that smooth side down and the spoon side up. So just keep that in mind for in a few minutes. So we have our bench hook, and we have our gouge, and we have our handle. This right here is a brayer. A brayer is meant to roll ink onto our blocks. I'll show you in a minute what our blocks are. Most of you, I've sent you home with some printing ink. So we have our brayer, and I probably need to turn the light back on. And your printing ink. Oh. And then you have blocks. Now, block printing and wood block printing, or linoleum block printing and wood block printing work the same way. They function in the same direction, same purpose. The kind of material that we're using is called soft cut linoleum. When I learned how to do this, we used linoleum like it's on your floor, and it gives you a real clean, precise cut, but it's also a harder material to work with. Soft cut linoleum allows you to cut through softer or easier and results in less injuries. So this right here is your setup, and these are the tools that I sent you home with. I'm going to start the next video in blocks. And then these are just examples of blocks that have been cut. And the next video, I will show you how to start cutting your blocks.